It seems like all the boys get on really well. Everyone's young and hungry to improve. That's the opinion I've got of them so far. And yes, it's a good environment to be in.
Just finally, having seen what Dominic Calvert-Lewin was able to do when he was brought in for the autumn internationals, does that inspire you and make you think that you could have a chance to get into this Euros squad if you do all the right things and impress everybody?
Yeah, I'm just focusing on the next training session and taking each day as it comes, really. But hopefully, if I get the opportunity to make my debut, that I can perform and yeah, just play well, really.
Brilliant. Thanks a lot, Ollie. Good luck.
Cheers. Thank you.
Thanks, Faye. Next, we'll take one from Tom Smith of EnglandFootball.org.
Hi, Ollie. All right?
All good, thanks.
Good. Glad to hear it. It might be a bit of a cruel question, this, but England's first opponents this week are San Marino, who are obviously the worst team in the world. I mean, what's it like preparing for a fixture like that, where it's likely that the opponents will probably make a few mistakes and concede quite a few goals? I mean, what's it like this week preparing for a fixture like that?
I think it's difficult. Everyone expects us to win the game. So you just have to prepare like it's any other game. You don't prepare more or less because they may not be as good as some other teams. But yeah, you have to prepare the same and have the same mentality going into it.
And with Tammy Abraham and Callum Wilson and Danny Ings not in the squad this time, do you fancy your chances of making your England debut over the next 8 days?
Obviously, that would be the dream to make my debut, but if it happens, then it happens. I'll be delighted, and if it doesn't, then I'll just keep working hard and hopefully it won't be long until I do.
Thanks, Tom. Next, we'll go to Josh Thomas of the West.
Hi, Ollie. Thanks for answering my question. First off, congratulations once again on your call-up. I'm really, really proud of you for that. Question is, going back to about your development, is that right? Sorry. Yeah, going back to your development, what were your memories from playing in non-league, and what advice would you give to non-league players who are in your position?
Smith was at Warsaw and he was watching me when I was on loan to Western. Then a couple of years later, after getting experience in the league and performing consistently, that he signed me for Brentford. So you never know what's around the corner. Just keep going.
Thanks, Josh. Next, we'll go to Matt Reed of World Soccer Match Magazine.
Hi, Ollie. You've obviously made a few big moves in your career. The last one was an enormous one where people really started paying big attention after a big season at Brentford. How much have you changed through the steps? Can you just define your game, the alterations as you stepped up from the lower leagues up to the Championship, up to the Premier League? And how much do you expect this to alter you as a person and as a footballer, the experience of being an England player?
In regards to my game, and my mentality, I think it's definitely changed a lot. Physically, better off, and mentally, I feel like I'm in a stronger position. I'm not too harsh on myself compared to what I was. I want the best for myself, but before I wouldn't speak to anyone after games if I've had a bad game. But now I can brush it off pretty quickly. So I definitely say my mindset is the biggest difference.
Thanks, Matt. I understand we have some technical issues in answering Josh's question, so apologies for Ollie. Josh, would you mind just repeating a version of your question for Ollie to quickly re-answer?
Of course, thank you for that. Basically, just back about your key development. What were your memories of non-league, and of course, playing for Western, and how did it help you? And what advice would you give to the players who were in your position back in your loan spell?
Just that I would say the difference between non-league and the league, there isn't much difference. You know, the standard is pretty similar. There's a lot of ex-pros that have dropped down the league, and maybe they're not as physically as sharp, but you know, technically they're still gifted and they've got it. So you're playing against a lot of good players, and I feel like you never know what's around the corner. My manager at the moment, Dean Smith, was at Walsall, and he watched me when I was on loan at Western-super-Mare. And then a couple of years later, you know, he's signed me for Brentford. So I definitely think you're never too far away, and just keep working hard.
Thanks, Josh. Appreciate that. And we'll finish the live section of this media conference with a return question for Carrie. Sorry, Carrie, you're on mute.
Sorry, they put the vacuum on upstairs, so I was trying to avoid that for you. Ollie, I know what an influence Dean Smith has had on you. Can you explain how influential a manager he is to you, to Jack, to Tyrone Mings? I know that he listened a lot to Tyrone when Sheffield United and Aston Villa decided to take the knee for a first time, which was very much a decision just between those two clubs and followed by the next club. Is there quite an open conversation? And in terms of how important that's been to your development and to this conversation on racism, which is so important.
Yeah, I think the gaffer is, I can't speak highly enough of him, really. He gave me the opportunity to play at Brentford for a start. And then when he moved to Villa, you could see players like Jack are playing their best football. You know, I think he brings the best out of you. He shows that faith in you, and he's almost like a friend at times, because you can speak to him and you don't feel pressure when talking to him, and it's not awkward. So I feel like he's massive for the way we've been playing, and a lot of credit to him. Look, sorry, I'm not gonna have a beer or whatever. I'm not gonna have that. I'm gonna have chicken and rice, and just little things like that, just to because I think the small percentages add up. Some players can get away with it, but personally I don't feel like I can. So they're the small sacrifices I make.
Thanks, Mike. Next we go to James Robson from The Standard.
Hi, Ollie. I just wanted to ask about the challenge, not just you, but there's a lot of English strikers hoping to be that, I suppose, backup to Harry Kane. How do you look at someone like him? Because he looks like he's immovable, really. Is it someone who you hope to emulate, or can you really have hopes of one day, replacing him?
That's a tough question to ask, really. I couldn't speak highly of him. Everyone knows what he's capable of. And there's a lot of other talented English strikers as well, and attacking players. So, it's always going to be hard to play for England for a start, let alone try and take a position. But I'm just trying to be the best I can be, and if I get my opportunity, just to try and perform well and make an impact on the team, and see where we go from there.
Thanks.
Next, go to John Cross in the Mirror.
Hi, Ollie. Nice to see you. I was just going to ask you, I realise this is your first call-up, but I guess it's also the start of the World Cup journey in these three games, really. Has that been kind of hammered home to the players yet, in get-togethers? And kind of, how exciting does it feel that these games are the first road and the first steps, to Qatar, having done so well at the last one?
Yeah, from day one, since I got here yesterday, that's what the manager has, been big on. We've had a couple of meetings now, and it's the main focus is, this is leading us up to World Cup, and just to be focused, really, not to slip up, and make sure we do everything properly, and focus on what's coming up next.
Next we go to Paul Brown at the start.
Hi, Ollie. I read that you once said Thierry Henry was your sporting idol, and you tried to model a lot of your game on him. I wondered what have you learnt from him? Why was that? And how far down the road do you think you are to being that sort of player?
Well, yeah, Thierry Henry. I think he's probably the best striker to probably ever play in the Premier League, in my eyes. Obviously, some may disagree with me, but I feel like he had everything. He could dribble past people. He was quick. He could score goals on both feet, and he could create goals. So he was definitely someone I look up to, supporting Arsenal from young. But yeah, I definitely feel like I'm a long way away from being like Thierry.
Thanks, Paul. Next, we'll go to Matt Meyer from the Wolverhampton Express and Star.
Hi, Ollie. You okay? I just wanted to pick up on something you said in the broadcast section when you mentioned that the stinker you had at Newcastle. How you described it, sorry. You mentioned about a text message that you'd had as well.
Yeah.
What was the background there?
So the message was just, just letting you know you could potentially be, in the England squad, and there was quite a few of us that got that text message. So I didn't really read too much into it. I knew there's a lot of good attacking players, and I was just taking it as it come, really.
Was that where did the message from Gareth Southgate?
No, it wasn't from Gareth. It was actually from someone here at the FA.
Excellent.
Thanks, Matt. Next, we go Duncan Wright from The Sun.
Hi, Ollie. I'm curious about this bit about asking the strength and conditioning coach about Harry Kane. What was the little bit that you took on Kane that you took into your game? And what other forwards and what bits have you taken from other forwards into your game to build and make what you are now?
It was just being in the gym early, really, and just preparing my body before training, not just kind of having breakfast and waiting around and then going out to train, get in the gym before, just waking my body up and make sure I'm doing the right movements, ready to go and try to be the best I can for training. So, yeah.
And other players, were there other players that you've taken bits from?
Oh yeah, and I look at all the attacking players in the Premier League, whether English or other nationalities. Any attacking player who I think catches my eye and does something, I try and take that into my game and put my twist onto it.
Good. Okay, we've got two to finish, starting with Matt Nash of the Metro.
Hi, Ollie. Obviously, when you came into the Premier League, you start scoring goals and step up. And did you start thinking about England at all? Did it cross your mind?
No, not really. I was just focusing on club form. Like I've said, England are blessed with so many attacking players, and it's the elite. It's another level. So I didn't put myself into that category. I didn't think it would be happening so soon. Obviously, I hope to be in the England squad one day, but I didn't think it would come so soon in my career, really.
Thanks. Cheers.
Thanks, Matt. And we'll finish with Simon Peach of the Press Association.
Hi, Ollie. Congratulations on the call-up. Sorry to end on a negative matter, but you touched on the taking the knee and the discussions earlier. Is that a meeting you'd have as a group? And also, from your perspective, obviously, there's been disgusting abuse aimed at footballers across the leagues in recent weeks and months. And I read that 5 years ago you were subject to in-stadium abuse. What's your take on the world we live in right now and what can be done to change it? Nice deep one, sorry.
Yeah, I don't know where to go with that question. I think we've got a meeting here tonight. We're all going to be together, I'm sure, have the same final decision, on a collective group decision on what we do. But I feel like, we should carry on doing what we're doing, take the knee. People are talking about it, and as far as I'm aware, that's good enough for me. As long as people are still talking about it and remember how powerful it is, then we should keep doing it.
Ready? That concludes today's meeting.